Genesis 49:19. Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. Call Elohim, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to you, brothers that are laboring and pushing this word in truth and sincerity and with charity. I'm the brother Abraham from the camp here in GMS Chicago. Coming back at you with another lesson. This video was inspired by a question I had asked ChatGPT. I had asked who was in America before Columbus, right? And it goes to, explain and tell you all the tribes that were here, in which part of America: North America, Central America, South America, and it lists you all the Gadite tribes, the rest of the Northern Kingdom tribes. Okay, and then at the end of it, it says the Americas were not empty lands waiting to be discovered. They were full of sophisticated civilizations and cultures. Columbus's arrival marked the beginning of European colonization, which had devastating effects on these native populations due to disease, warfare, and displacement. Okay, and not only was it the beginning of European colonization, it was the rebirth of Esau's kingdom. Okay, that is still his kingdom today. All right, it was the beginning of Esau's world. Okay, which he came back into power. This was the beginning of it. All right, and then I had asked it further, can you go into the disease, warfare, and displacement that it spoke about? It says, absolutely, the arrival of Columbus in 1492 and the wave of European colonization that followed had catastrophic effects on the indigenous peoples of the Americas. The three biggest causes of the devastation were disease, warfare, and displacement. Here's a deeper breakdown of each. Number one, disease, the silent killer. When Europeans arrived, they brought diseases like smallpox, measles, influenza, typhus, whooping cough. Native Americans had no immunity to these old world diseases because they had never been exposed to them before. This led to massive, rapid death tolls, right? The impact that it had, it says in some areas up to 90% of the native population died within the first 100 years of contact. Entire villages were wiped out before ever seeing a European, just by contact through trade or explorers. Smallpox, in particular, played a key role in weakening empires like the Aztecs and Incas, making them easier to conquer. Right, and this is what Esau brought, all these diseases. All right, because part of the reason that is because they're filthy and unclean. Okay, it says warfare, conquest, and resistance. European colonizers waged war to claim land, extract resources, and control native populations. It says Spanish conquest of the Aztec Empire led by Hernan Cortez, right, which Hernan Cortez is a terror. Right, that Hernan Cortez is a straight up terror. It says the Spanish allied with Aztec enemies and used guns, horses, and disease to conquer the Aztec capital. Conquest of the Inca Empire. Francisco Pizarro captured and killed Inca ruler Atahualpa leading to the empire's fall, North American Indian Wars, native from the 1600s to the 1800s, native tribes resisted colonization for centuries. Example, the Powhatan Wars, Pequot Wars, King Philip's War, Trail of Tears conflicts, and Battle of Wounded Knee. Alright, and there was also a video that went viral. I don't know if some brothers have seen it before. It was two Native American women, Gadite women, that were pulled over by two cops, and the cop had asked them if they were U.S. citizens. The cop asked the Gadite women if they were U.S. citizens, and that's one of the craziest things you could ask. And are they American citizens? They were like, we were the first ones, right? We were the first ones. Right? They were like, we didn't cross the border crossed us. Right? It says tactics used: massacres of villages, destruction of food supplies, use of rival tribes to destabilize nations, enslavement and forced conversion, especially by the Spanish and Portuguese. Right? So enslavement, we were indoctrinated, and part of that indoctrination was white Jesus, Christianism. All right, plantation Christianity. It says displacement, forced removal, and land theft. As settlers took more land, native peoples were pushed off their ancestral territories. In many cases, this wasn't just cultural loss, it was forced removal under threat of violence or death. Events, you have the Trail of Tears, 1830s, U.S. government forcibly removed over 60,000 Native Americans from the southeast to Indian right, quote unquote Indian territory, which is modern day Oklahoma. Thousands died on the journey. The Indian Removal Act legalized the displacement of indigenous nations for white settlements. Reservations. After displacement, many tribes were forced onto small parcels of land with poor resources, destroying their traditional ways of life. Right? And now, since this happened, the Indian Removal Act was 1830. The Trail of Tears was same time. Okay, so from the 1800s and the North American Indian Wars, the 1600s, right, all from that time all the way until now, right, you've had the destruction of our people, the displacement of our people on this land, and Esau with his law system, judicial system, alright, are deporting Northern Kingdom that's already, this is their land, right? And just them being able to do these things and are gonna come with worse things in the near future. Like if this was originally their land, right? So the hypocrisy. All right. It says boarding schools. Native children were taken from families and placed in schools to, quote unquote, kill the Indian, save the man. Stripping them of language, culture, and identity. So these schools were meant to kill the Indian, right? To kill their culture, their identity, their language, pretty much what Americanization is. Same thing when the Greeks came into power, they did the same thing with Hellenization. They Hellenized the world, everywhere they went and conquered. They spread their language, culture, and identity. Right? It says result of cultural and human catastrophe. By the end of the 19th century, tens of millions of indigenous people had died or been displaced. Many languages and traditions were lost. Tribes were weakened politically, economically, and spiritually. Right? So yeah, I thought of this scripture in Genesis 49:19, which I read in the beginning of this video, that Gad, a troop, shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. So at the last, Gad will prevail. Not only Gad, but uh the nation of Israel. All right, let's get Numbers 35. In verse 33 it says, so ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So here it says tens of millions of indigenous people had died, displaced, right, from all this time. So the bloodshed that was shed is our blood. This land is defiled, right? So the only way to clean the blood and to cleanse the land is to shed the blood of the shedder, which is Esau Edom. Esau Edom did this. All right, Esau Edom did this. Let's get Exodus 21. And 16, and he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. Right? Who did this? Who's guilty of this? It's not rocket science. Okay? Let's get Revelations 13 and verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. All right? So we know the history and we know the future. All right? The future and destiny of Esau Edom is that they get recompense for what they've done. Thus saith the Lord, thus saith the Bible. It says it is a righteous thing in the eyes of the Lord to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. So in the eyes of the Most High, this is a righteous thing. And not only is it a righteous thing, but the scriptures say that wait ye upon me till I rise up to the prey. For the day of vengeance is in mine heart. Right? For the controversy of Israel. So the time is now, because now is the time of prophecy. Now is the end of Esau's world. Right? The time is now. Okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and there, Lord willing, this video was edifying as always. Honor, glory, and praises goes to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Until the next time, Shalom.